Well, thank you for coming on, Miss Caitlin.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You're very welcome. I want to dig into how long have you been acting and what got you into it?
So, I would say realistically, I've been really acting since like 2009, 2010 is when I first did my web series.
Hmm.
Wrote, directed, shot, edited, everything. I learned a lot. I learned a lot doing that. But I've always wanted to be an actress, even as a kid. My mom's best friend, Kathy, when I saw her last, like a couple years ago, she's like, "Yep, not surprised. When you were 5 years old and I first met you, you told me you're going to be an actress." And I'm like, "Yep, yep, that's essentially, yeah." So ever since I was little, I kind of knew.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. I want to dig into your TV series you did last year. I'm saying it wrong. It's Zillionaire with on Christmas. I'm sorry. I'm saying the title wrong. I know I'm trying. Please correct me. I'm so sorry.
Don't be. It's, I think, a zillionaire returns home for
Anybody
Christmas
who watched it, please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry. Anyway.
at all. Yeah. It's a vertical short. And that is one thing that has changed quite drastically in this
Hmm.
industry is vertical shorts. At first, people weren't taking them seriously. Like my agent even said, she's like, no one was thinking that this was going to stick around, but it has grown quite a bit in popularity. There's a few
The
different.
one thing, part of me, if you don't mind, it to me by watching the trailer and watching some episodes recently, it's like a Hallmark. It's really good, and I understand because at the beginning of it, at the very beginning of the start, I understand because kind of like, was this really gonna last? Sorry, everybody who's watching it, but is it gonna last? Is it? And then later on, you continue watching it, it's like, wow, really good story, really
Mhm.
good background, and everybody, including you and all the cast members that's on there are doing amazing. And to me, it just proves to me that, and I tell everybody else is that actors and directors and producers, if their dream and their passion to continue this series or episodes or on TV to keep it going and keep it going, it shows it right there. You can tell the hard work, and you're right. It's still going.
It's really lovely. I've only worked on two of them. The first one was last November, The Zillionaire Returns Home for Christmas, and the director, her name's Erica Ing. Um, I had auditioned for that project, and I was really excited to get it. And the set was just, it was really well run. She herself is a very like empathetic, very patient, understanding, knows how to talk to actors and her crew. It's a really lively set. And I was really lucky because about a month or so ago, my agent reached out and she's like, "Hey, are you available these 5 days?" I was like, "I'll make myself available." She said, and then she contacted me a few minutes later and she's like, "Well, you're booked on a gig. Erica, who you worked with on Zealand Air, has asked you for playing a part called Daisy in this new one called Fated Love." And I was thrilled. And I read this script. I was like, this script's even better than the Zillionaire one. It's a little bit shorter. It's like 82 pages, but it was so much fun being on set. Had a whole bunch of different costume changes. Like we were on mansions. We were at like this other really cool studio in like K-Town that had each room and floor looked completely different. And it's just really, really nice to be on set. It's like
Hmm.
it's my happy place.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And where was it? Excuse me, where was it filmed at?
It was filmed here in LA.
Okay.
So K-Town, Koreatown, a little bit south of the 10 was where we shot for like 3 days. And
Hmm.
then we went to this mansion in Pasadena. And it was really cool. I'm like, okay, these people know what they're doing. Uh, so, I mean, just even walking the property in between scenes and everything, it was lovely. It's funny, all, so when I was a kid, I had three premonitions. And two of them had to do with the entertainment industry. One, and I was like 7 or 8 when I thought this. I was like, okay, my first movie is going to be a thriller. And it was. The part was written in for me after I auditioned for a different part. And they're like, hey, we really want you in this project. So we wrote you this character. And that was a movie called Followed.
Hmm.
It aired or released in drive-in theaters summer 2020 when everything was shut down because of COVID.
Right.
But it was a really wonderful experience. And that my other premonition would be that I would be in like my late 30s to early 40s, and I'm totally giving away my age here. When I would start to kind of make it in this industry. And at 7 or 8, and realizing that at age 40 is probably when it's going to happen, it really confirmed something in me that I knew that this is what I was going to do. Like, I believe in past lives and karma, and I'm pretty sure that my last past life was in New York. This is a little woo-woo, and I'm pretty sure I died of a drug overdose or something because Isaac, I'm like, I'm not touching anything white. Absolutely not. That seems like just so silly and frivolous and a waste of time, money, and energy. And so yeah, when I'm at this age now, and I shot a movie that was a lead in last summer with Ryan Willer, who you actually interviewed a few months ago. And I finally just got to see the full movie just last Monday, actually. And it was really wonderful to see the whole thing finally cut, edited with music and the score and everything. And then I filmed that Zillionaire, and then I filmed This Faded. So within the past 12 months, I've actually like worked 3 movies. And honestly, it had been years since I'd booked a project. So I feel like it's just, yeah, the stepping stones are finally being laid.
Wow, amazing. Do you want to say that was your most emotional roller coaster so far
For which one?
in your career? Because you,
Yeah, because I mean, as an actor, anyone in the industry, you work project to project unless you're lucky and you have,
hmm
a
hmm
series role and you have a contract to do as many episodes per season or whatever. So it can get really kind of depressing when you're not booking for a really long time. You start to wonder, why am I in this industry? What am I doing here? I'm in acting class every Wednesday, so I'm constantly working on my craft. We have a lovely community I work with, or at Arete Actors Workshop, with Michael Yavanelli. He's my teacher. And having an ongoing scene study is really clutch, because I can still do what I want every single week. I can work with new materials and really hone my skill as an actor. And it's like if you aren't constantly working on your instrument, which is us, voice, body, everything, then it is very much like there's no reason to do it. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm like, it's just, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
hmm
And, hopefully as I get older, more parts will come to me. But yeah, it can be a little sad sometimes when you get to
right.
that low part of the valley.
And that's the one thing you mentioned because being in the entertainment industry, you're right. It's tough. 100%. You're right. You have the auditions and you're on the waiting list of how many auditions. And I want to dig into that topic because I think this is good for a lot of young actors who are looking up to you or who be paying attention, listening to this on podcasts or on YouTube that you being in the entertainment industry, it's not handy dandy easy. And it's a good answer because it's a truth because you do auditions. You have auditions and auditions. You may audition 100 times and maybe 101 you get the role. And
Hmm.
so for you and your experience and what you can tell a lot of young teenagers or even adults who are getting into this entertainment industry who are questioning themselves right now, which I totally understand. That's nothing wrong with that. But questioning themselves, it doesn't matter what state they're living in, questioning themselves, is this right? Or why should I continue doing this? Because I'm doing all the auditions and I'm not getting anything. So what is your 2 cents you want to I want to
So
say?
unfortunately, you're always going to feel that way. It as an actor, like I said, there's no stability in this, and there is so much out of your control. So I've done casting director workshops with quite a few different casting directors, and one guy who he was the casting for Yellow Jackets, and he's like,
hmm
"You have no idea how out of the hands it is for us." So they'll have like their number one pick, like this perfect or this actor is perfect for this role, and the studio heads aren't exactly on board. or the producers aren't exactly on board. Like there's three other levels of basically people saying, yes, they're perfect for this part in order for that person to get the part. And they brought in someone who was perfect, someone who was the complete opposite. And the studio heads are like, oh, we want the one who's complete opposite. And the casting's like, that's that. No, that was not the point. We were trying to show you why this person was perfect. And sometimes I think that studio heads just don't want people telling them who to do, or I'm sorry, who to pick or who to cast.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the most important thing is your job as an actor is to audition, point blank, whether you get the role or not. Obviously, the sugar on top is getting the role, and that is why you should always be in an acting class. That way you can continuously keep working on your craft. And just know that you need to approach auditions like it is your job, literally, every single project. Do you have to audition for every single project? No. If you get an audition and something doesn't feel comfortable, feel free to deny it. Decline it, just write a note, be like, hey, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, you can make something up. I have a conflict. I'll be out of town, whatever it is. If you
Hmm.
don't be honest with like, I don't like the script. So just be honest with yourself, what you're willing to do, and understand that this is a lifelong thing. It's a hobby. I'm planning on going back and getting my master's in psychology so I can do therapy in between gigs. And I'm really hoping that once I start school, I'm going to just start booking left and right. And I'm like, I took out these student loans. What a problem. But yeah, you just have to give yourself a lot of grace. Understand that it is a really hard industry and that what you're doing, if you don't book the job, that is not your fault. They
Right.
might want a different color hair. They might want someone like this or like that. So just don't look at that audition like it's your opportunity. Like if you book this one, then everything's going to be okay. Do the audition, prepare for it. And then as soon as you're done and you upload it, move on, forget about it, throw the sides away, or use them on the back to write out your other sides.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's just the best advice I can give you. Just be prepared.
I like it. 100%. And my last question with regarding that, I know we're getting into the days that, and it started because of the COVID, but your view and your personal opinion, and I'm asking almost everybody this, that auditions, do you feel like is it better to do it on Zoom or do it in person? Because now most of us, a lot of actors except us, but a lot of actors, they like it on Zoom because they don't have to worry about, for example, if they have to fly to LA or they have to fly to New York or Texas or Seattle or the states that you have to do audition. And I think the big plus is on Zoom is like, oh, I want to try audition for this that's happening in New York, or if you're in New York, you want to go to LA, or it's better. And I've heard a lot of actors they like in person because you can give your own personal appearance. So
Mhm.
for you, what do you think in your opinion?
I prefer to be in the room at all times. But that's just not the way that the industry runs anymore. Once COVID hit and they realized that you can do self tapes, and that's basically so you submit for the part that you hope to get an audition for. And if you're lucky, you get the audition. So that's the win right there. You
Hmm.
submit it or you film it, you submit it, and then like I said, you forget about it. And hopefully, you'll get a callback. And at that point, the callback will be via Zoom. So that's how it worked when I worked on Zillionaire. Erica reached out and she's like, great, we have a callback and let's do it via Zoom. So you set yourself up, same kind of tape setup that you have in your house. And then at that point, either you're cast or you're not, right? It's only like bigger projects where they're going to ask you to fly in for an in-person callback, and that might be your second callback if there is one, just to see if there's any like chemistry readings essentially. But like I have a friend who auditioned for, I think, Phantom of the Opera, and her callback, they wanted her to fly to Mexico City and do the callback. And she did. And she was really excited to go. She didn't book it, but there are times when, yes, they will ask you to fly out. But yeah, don't have to worry about that as much.
Hmm. And that's really interesting. I think that's a lot of actors are like you said, it's good to have the Zoom. So you don't really have to worry about going there and then spending money again to go back. And you made
Yeah.
that good point.
Yeah, you don't really want to spend your money on plane tickets and, places to stay. And honestly, you're not going to get that opportunity at this point unless you are up for,
Mm-hmm.
like more popular, like Grey's Anatomy or something along those
Right.
lines, right? So it really depends. There's a lot of smaller projects. Sorry, SAG, actually I'm not, has made it really, really hard for independent filmmakers to get SAG projects.
Mm-hmm.
The insurance is really expensive. It's just so many hoops to jump through that a lot of independent filmmakers are like, we're just doing non-union. And non-union have a little bit of a smaller budget. Um, so honestly, like it depends. I wish I could say like this is how it's always going to be, but it's not. There's going to be variations no matter what
Right.
type
Right.
of medium you're even auditioning for. Are you auditioning for a vertical short? Are you auditioning for a TV show or a movie? Everything's different.
Mm-hmm. And that's true. And do you feel like and I know that's not bashing California, but do you feel like the entertainment industry may be slowly leaving California?
Yeah, I mean, I
It
think
was
that's
kind of
what
hard for me to say that. Sorry, people in the entertainment
it's all
industry.
good. Hey, we're all bummed too. There's a lot of people who on IATSE and the producers and casting directors. There's so many. They're producing like Chewy is an $11.1 billion company. Why are they allowed to produce non-union commercials? And as SAG workers, actors, we get penalized. We're the ones who are in trouble if we take that work because we just want to work. We want to get paid for what we do. But producers don't get penalized, casting directors don't get penalized, agents don't get penalized. So I think it's very unfair. But yeah, the industry is leaving California. They did just pass a bill, I think a couple weeks ago, for like 750 million of tax breaks or something to keep the industry here. But you have like places like Toronto, you have places like Atlanta, you have places in Oklahoma that they're trying, Texas. There's a whole bunch of little mini microcosms of the entertainment industry spreading throughout the United States. And I think that's a really good thing to do so that people who are not just in California, there's a lot of opportunity there for a lot of people.
And that's the one thing I love. I think the entertainment industry is not 100% going to leave California. It's
Yeah,
it's always home of Hollywood. But like you said, it's great that it's growing in other states. So it gives opportunity for other people who are near the state or local in that state. So I
exactly.
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I want to dig into what was the most pivot moment of your life so far?
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
What was your most pivoted moment in your life so far?
So, when pivotal thing in my life. So when it comes to acting, the first pivotal thing was when I booked Followed and they wrote in that part for me. I felt like, great, these people see what I can do and they want to work with me. That was super pivotal. And then this most recent where I was offered this part, and even Ryan wrote in the part for me for Elise for a private investigation. And I'm just like, okay, this is finally something where people see what I can do. They're giving me these opportunities. They're putting their trust in me. And that is like an actor's dream to have people like, hey, we love you. Do you want to play this role? To skip the audition process is it's amazing, right? So I would say that is the most pivotal when it comes to my career is that people offering me and wanting to write me in parts for their projects is really such a blessing. And I feel like special and I feel like I've put in the hard work and I do
Mm.
deserve it.
Wow, amazing. What's your 5-year goal?
So 5-year goal at this point would be to obviously now that I've booked like 3 legit projects in the past 12 months is hopefully to keep that going. Hopefully my agent and I can continue working for and looking for those opportunities. But also, like I said, I'm applying for my master's in psychology. I mean, as an actor, you need to understand what motivates people. Why do people react the way that they do? And that's a lot of like, well, what happened right before the scene? What happened? What's the relationship between the people that are in this scene? What are the stakes? Consider like if it's a movie about the apocalypse, like make sure you have that belief that you're literally in the apocalypse because I mean that was one of my note in one of my acting classes. So I did a scene from Elevation and my teacher was like, hey, acting's really good, but we didn't actually understand the stakes of where you are right now. And so that's why it's really important to stay in acting class and to continue to act because it's easy to forget some of these things and to have the constant reminder and the probing the questions that your teacher will ask you, hopefully in a very like supportive way like ours does. Um, that it will basically all of a sudden I just like went on a tangent. Anyway, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to be a therapist within the next 5 years, get all of my hours. I have to have 3,000 hours in order to take my licensure test. But to be able to help people in that realm and then also share my creativity with other people. I don't know about you, but when I watch a movie or a show, like I was watching The Crown, Princess Diana, and it was the scene, spoiler alert, she dies. Um, and just the I texted my mom and my dad. I was like, I just want to let you know I love you so much, you know? And I think that being able to help people feel that and experience those different types of griefs or happiness or lessons that you can learn, uh, just to try and help like improve someone's life in even the teeniest way or help them identify in the teeniest of ways so that they don't feel alone. Essentially, that is my goal as Caitlin Grace. Um, to kind of, yeah, be an empath and just, yeah, let people basically experience emotions through our craft.
100%. And The Crown is a great TV show. I love it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. You get to learn so much about the queen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I finally binged it the last few days. I was like, okay, it's about time to actually, get into it. And I'm on the last season right now. I think I just have a couple more episodes, but yeah, yeah, it's really
I
inspiring to
think
see
for
people do this
me,
kind of work.
that got me was what she did for the Kennedy family to put the flag is it halfway in England? Is that,
Um, I I don't know
you
if
have to
I've gotten to
recorrect
that
me.
episode yet.
Okay, then I spoiled it.
It's
Whoops.
okay. It's okay.
Sorry.
Dude, I spoiled Grey's Anatomy for one of my classmates about 5, 7 years ago, and I still feel guilty about it. So trust me, I don't forget it.
Okay, you haven't seen that part. Oops, okay, never mind, everybody. Um, it's a great TV series. They did amazing.
They did.
Um, they did. So I want to dig into any upcoming project, TV shows, movies that you can mention. Any?
Unfortunately, not right now.
Okay.
I've kind of put a slight hiatus on auditioning for anything that's going to be shooting from like end of January or sorry, end of July to beginning of August because I'm going to Europe with my dad for two
Okay.
weeks. And I think that's another thing. Before self-tapes, I felt like I should not travel. I need to be in LA in case there's that audition and da 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 da. And you finally realize, this is not, you can't limit your life experiences in the hopes that you're going to get that audition. So travel, experience new cultures, do different things if you can, because that just helps you as an artist
Mm-hmm.
experience more about people watching, why do people here do this and these type of people do this, and then learning what you can pull out of yourself that you kind of identify with. And yeah,
Amazing. Where are you guys going in Europe?
we are taking a Vikings cruise. So we're starting in Amsterdam and we're hitting up like the Netherlands, Germany, and then we're ending in Budapest. We'll be in Austria as well. So it's really exciting. I'm really excited to spend this time with my dad. It's just him and I going. It's just a father-daughter thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel really, really blessed to be able to spend this time with him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
100%. It's great to spend time with family.
Yep, I agree 100. What were
So
you going?
you, so you're a writer and a producer.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to dig into this. What made you decide to go from acting to being a writer and a producer?
You have to make your own projects. If you're auditioning and not booking anything, you need to have real material. You need to be able to have clips of what you can do, showcasing your ability. And the best opportunity is to do it yourself. You know what kind of characters you want to play. So, and people hopefully from acting class or other projects that you worked on were like, hey, let's get together and let's do this. Um, so I've been working on a couple different projects I've taken a little bit of break from them, and that's another thing is the discipline of sitting down and writing is one of the things I need to get a little bit more administrative about. But it's like my friend Allie just reached out yesterday about a concept that she has that she's starting to write. And yeah, it's really, really important to get together and create your own content.
That's true, 100%. And being a writer and a producer, I heard it's so much fun. You could just, you know, be behind the camera and see how everything's going.
It is fun. It's really important sometimes to get a good director as well, because if you're writing, acting, and producing, y- it's things start to kind of fall between the cracks, right?
Hmm.
So having a director to help maintain like the storyline and like I mentioned, the what happened right before this scene, what's going on right now is really important to streamline the process as you're, on set because it takes a lot of time to set up lighting to make sure that audio is all put together. And it is a lot of fun. It's so much fun being on set when you have a
Hmm.
nice group of people who are just like, hey, we're here, we're doing what we love. Let's have fun while we do it.
Very true. Surround your people that want to have fun.
Hmm.
Um, so let's talk about any recent movies that you recommend that people should watch that's out in theaters.
Oh, so what did I just watch recently in theater? So I have an AMC movie pass, and I just watched the new Jurassic Park, which
Okay.
is I'm a big Jurassic Park girl. I remember when the first one came out. Big fan. So definitely go see that if you want to see a blockbuster.
How about the Formula One race?
The Formula One race.
Yes.
I don't believe I'm familiar with that one yet. I'm kind of bad about it, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I should watch more. I should do a little bit more homework on who's producing what, what's coming out. But basically I just go on AMC and be like, oh, this movie looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and sign up and go
I
to see this
highly
one.
recommend Formula One. Brad Pitt is in it. Great movie.
Formula
Um,
One.
yes. So what did you think about Jurassic movie?
I loved it. Honestly, the acting was great. The effects were clutch. They had some really good fight scenes in there. And it's just like it's fun. It's like, watching we don't have to worry about dinosaurs coming back and killing us. Personally, I'm scared about like paranormal type movies. I don't like watching scary movies by myself. I'm a little wuss that way. But when I see like a zombie apocalypse, I'm like, oh, I can totally dig into that because that's not going to happen. So yeah, just it's just funny just opening up my awareness a little bit more to things I would normally not watch. That's why an AMC pass is great because you can see 3 movies a week for $26 a month. It's a really good deal.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. It's amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
So
So yeah,
take advantage of that if you have it.
yeah. And it sucks. I mean, it's not sucks. You can go by yourself too with the pass sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I personally love going on my own self dates. I'll get an AMC pass. I'll go see the movie. Maybe I'll hit up a happy hour or something because I live near. I can go to the Grove or the one at Universal Studios. And personally, I think I feel really blessed that I don't need anybody to go see a movie or go do something. Like for one of my birthdays, I went to Universal Studios by myself and rode the Harry Potter ride and the tram, and I was like, boom, good, happy, and then went home. So it's really nice being able to have the I don't want to say the confidence necessarily, but just like the awareness that I don't need anybody else to go and have fun.
Right. Totally true.
Mhm.
100%. Spend time on yourself sometimes to focus on your mental health.
Yes.
Right.
It's important. I know people who don't know how to say no, or they're really big people pleasers. And that's one thing I've never had an issue with is like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it.
Hmm.
Um, so giving yourself the know-how that like you can say no. You don't have to do something just because somebody asked you to. If you don't feel like doing it, you don't have to. And you don't have to give a reason either. Just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm unavailable that day, or I have a previous commitment that I can't switch
Hmm.
around. No one needs to know your business. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Um, I, highly suggest therapy. I think therapy is one of the best things that anyone can do. I saw a therapist for quite a few years. I'm at this point where Like if I need to see my therapist, I'll send out an email like, hey, I'm going through some stuff. Can I book an appointment within the next week? But being able to, like you said, do that self-care and the mental health is really clutch when you're in an industry that people are like, oh, you're getting rejected because you didn't get that part, or you're getting rejected because of this. Finding an agent is one of the only time I feel like I'm being rejected by somebody because you don't want to represent me, right? And then being able to just be like, hey, there's conflicts. They already have people with your look or your kind of energy or your essence, and they don't want those people competing, right? So understanding that's not necessarily you, it like you will find your niche. Like I promise you will find your niche, but it takes a lot of doing it over and over and over again.
100%. 100%. Like you said, focus on your mental health. That's number one priority. Your health
Hmm.
and well-being. 100%.
Yeah,
And don't forget to check on your friends, because
absolutely.
right, and also I want to leave with this is that we're we're it doesn't matter what industry, it doesn't matter. We don't talk about mental health enough. And we
We don't.
need to. We
I
need to.
agree.
100%.
I got my
Anyway,
psychology degree, my BA in 2006 from San Francisco State University. And even now, like so many people are scared of the concept of mental health. And honestly, back in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, we had Freud, who was so stupid. I'm sorry, Freud was ridiculous. His whole theory about like anyways, and there's a lot more studies that are done with a lot more of a broader group of subjects. I think a lot of problems is that because we live in such a patriarchy, all the studies are mainly done for men because men are the ones who are giving up the funds and they don't care about what happened with women. And mental health is very much one of those things where people need to understand that it is totally okay to go see a therapist because we are not born with the tools given in order to manage our emotional essentially. And we have things like social scripts where we grow up and we see our parents react this way to the situation. So, well, guess that's how you react, not realizing that actually there are other ways that you can handle the situation that might not be so self-sabotageous or negative. So having those tools and not only the tools, but the jargon, the words in order to express how you're feeling is really, really important.
very true. Thank you for sharing that. And 100%, mental health is very important to talk about. So,
Yes.
and nobody should be ashamed to talk about it.
At all. And
So,
you know, that's the thing. Like I've gone through my own mental health journey and it was really embarrassing telling people that for a few years. And now I'm like, you know what? Yeah, mental health. I see a therapist, I take medication, and I'm so, so grateful that I finally found the courage to where I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with me. It's just me, I'm just miserable. And you're like, you don't have to be miserable. There are so many ways that you don't have to be miserable. So if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're really feeling like down on yourself, that you're stuck in a rut, go see a therapist. And not
for
only
sure.
that, but the first therapist you see you don't jive with, or the second one, feel free to break up with your therapist and go find someone who does understand
Yep,
you.
you said it right there.
Yeah, because depending on the gender of your therapist, what their background has been, whether they share the same culture or religion. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you need to understand about yourself in order to get someone who can help you in the way, like I said, to give you the words and the understanding of what you're going through.
100%, right? And then focus on your mental health. Surround yourself with people that understand about mental health.
Yeah.
100%.
And also don't think that you're in competition with anybody else. You're not. Just be the
There you
best
go.
person that you can be, and just love yourself as much as you possibly can.
You said it right there.
Yeah.
100%. You said it. It's not a competition. Entertainment industry is not a competition. But the one thing I want to say this real quick about entertainment industry about social media. And I know I say social media, but Instagram, it's amazing. If you're getting into the entertainment industry, you have so many actors, directors, producers, writers, and you have famous people that are on Instagram. And what I tell other people is get on there, post your headshots, post some of your roles, your work, and start
Mhm.
following people. and they'll
Yep,
eventually follow you back because you'll notice it's not a competition. We support each other from it doesn't
exactly.
matter what state it is. So I
Yeah,
think that's, and I know people are like, it's like you're almost being glued to your phone. I mean, it is. At the very beginning, it is. And I think for me, I want to say you have to if you're beginning because you want to be consistent because you want to keep looking at your Instagram. If you just started and you're getting into the and you just put your foot in the entertainment industry and it sucks. You're like, "Oh, I'm spending too much time on my phone on Instagram." And I mean, don't be ashamed. You
it's
have to.
marketing.
You have to do. You have to. You'll
Yeah,
be like, okay, I got this person. I need to talk to this person. Blah, blah, right? Because
yeah,
you never know if you just put your foot in the door and you go to audition and they're following you and you're
yep,
not paying attention. If they send you a message and say, hey, I have a friend that's looking for an actor, female actor, and you're female, and they're gonna contact you and they message you and you don't look at your phone for a while and you missed opportunity. I
yep.
mean, I hate to say it, you have to blame yourself because you weren't paying attention. And
Yeah,
I don't want to say blame yourself, but you know I'm trying to say it's kind of like it's that it's I don't know how to I'm trying to find the right wording. I'm sorry.
it's marketing. Like if you
Yes.
use social media as a marketing tool, that is one thing that they say that you are like, I'm my own brand. I'm Caitlin Grace. I'm a brand. Personally, I'm like, whatever. A brand. I don't know what that means. I'm an actress. I can play different parts. What brand is there about me, right? But it's very true. Like if you do connect or start following somebody, the way that you can build a relationship is just being honest. Like if they post a picture of a cat and you have a cat, right? Like, oh, I love it when my cat does this too, and just honest little things are really important. And yeah, I actually have a friend who's been doing a lot of work, and she says a lot of her projects come from social media. The other piece of advice I want to give you is if you are starting out, do not join SAG. I know people say join SAG, you have to join SAG. Don't wait until the very last minute because if you join SAG, you are in a bigger pool, which is very much diluted, and you're not going to be able to get the hands-on experience and build networking and contacts if you can't if you're auditioning if you can't even get an audition for a SAG role because it's just overpopulated. So don't think that you're not a professional actor if you're not SAG. You are. If you are auditioning, you are a professional actor. And don't let anyone say, "Oh, well, you haven't worked on something in so long." That's not the point. Like I said, your job is to audition as an actor, and using Instagram and Facebook as marketing tools is a really good way, like you said, to post your headshots, post little clips, right? And developing a reel. And you can
Hmm.
do that by writing and producing and working with people that you know in the industry.
Yes, 100%. Sorry, that's the word I was trying to find, marketing, but pay attention, and you're right. I mean, I say glued, but glued to your phone, glued to your
Yeah.
Instagram, and be marketing, and just be out there. And
Yep.
you're right, because you never know the opportunity that could happen to you in this
Yeah.
career.
I've been really lazy about posting. Like last year, I barely posted anything at all. And I was just like, now because I've done more projects, I have things that I can post, which is really nice. But yeah, even just like the illusion that you're constantly working by like reposting things that you posted 10 years ago. Oh, fun flashback. If it's a good piece of material and you like the work you did, repost it, get it back
Hmm.
out there again. There's a lot of ways that you can keep yourself relevant in social media and online that is actually very beneficial if you choose to use it as a marketing tool. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder too, because I need to be doing that more often. I appreciate you saying
No, it's okay. And you're 100% right, 100%. Thank you for sharing that. Where can people find you on social media, like we just said, or how can people get a hold of you?
So I would suggest people follow me on Instagram, caitlin.grace.u. My Facebook is very much more political these days. I'm sorry, the state of the country, and a lot of people are super scared about being honest with how they feel with what's going on. Like that's going to basically not want people to work with them. And honestly, if there's people that don't want to work with you because of your political viewpoint, then you don't want to work with those people either. You want to be with
Hmm.
like-minded humans, you
And
know?
to be honest, I agree with you. I'm just gonna say, a little crazy time right now. So, 100% would agree with you.
And I feel
So
like especially now, we need to speak up if we can. If we
Mm-hmm.
have a privilege of being able to speak up, that's what I will do.
Yes,
Absolutely.
100%.
So yeah, Caitlin.grace.u. And then that's pretty much it. I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't been posting anything on it really recently. But yeah, follow me, say hi. I will say hi back. Send me a message saying that you saw me on Roundtable. And yeah, I would be so happy to be able to invite you into my world a little.
Well, thank you. And I look forward to having you back on the Red Carpet
Yes,
Roundtable to talk about
I
your
would
other
love it.
future projects.
Absolutely. When I book something or have something coming out, I will absolutely let you know.
Yes, we finally got in touch.
Yeah, it took us a little while, but hey, you know what? Timing is perfect.
Yes, because I was like, oh, Caitlin again. I need to reach out. And I was like,
And thank you. It's such an honor. I really appreciate you wanting to interview me and talk a little bit about the business. Having people like you to talk to makes it so much more like fulfilling to be
hmm
able to share it with somebody who's passionate about it as well. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
And
I'm really,
to me, it
really,
means a lot because this is what we want to talk about.
yeah,
From A-list to non-A-list, right?
exactly.
This is
Yeah,
what we want to talk about. And
absolutely.
the visions and the passion, mental health, courage, it goes on about telling young kids out there or beginners or adults to say, hey, if this is what your dream, you go for it.
Absolutely. You only have one life. I mean, I do believe in karma and like I said earlier, but like if that's what you want to do it. Put everything you can into it, but just give yourself the grace and the understanding that it's probably not going to happen overnight.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Well, thank you again, Caitlin.
Thank
I look
you.
forward to speaking with you again and thank you for coming
Yes.
on.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Yes, we'll stay in touch.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you later. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Goodbye.